Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Getting Started with Galileo, High Accuracy Service and Real-World Applications. My name is Carline Amsing, and I'm joining you today on behalf of Geo-informatie Nederland, or GIN, as we like to call it. We are very pleased to organize this webinar series together with EUSPA and the Netherlands Space Agency. Before we begin, just a few practical remarks. Please keep your microphone muted during the presentations. Feel free to submit your questions in the chat throughout the webinar, and we will reserve time after every presentation for questions and discussion. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available afterwards for those who would like to revisit the presentations or were unable to attend the entire session. It's great to see so many participants from across the GNSS and geospatial community joining us today. Thank you. This diversity really reflects the growing importance of satellite navigation and positioning technologies across many sectors. And this first webinar of two provides an introduction to Galileo and its high accuracy service, while next week's session will take a deeper dive into HAS and OSNMA. And we see that many of you will join today and next week, so that's great. Well, at GIN, our mission is to connect the Dutch geo community with new developments and innovations that are shaping their profession. And that's exactly why we are organizing this webinar series. As the demand for accurate and reliable positioning continues to grow, Galileo services such as HAS and OSNMA offer exciting new opportunities for the geoinformation sector. Our aim today is simple: to raise awareness, showcase practical applications, and help our community understand how these services can support future innovations and applications. And we hope today's webinar will inspire you and provide valuable insights into the opportunities offered. Well, let me briefly walk you through today's program. Yes. Well, in about 10 minutes, we will hear from Thomas Bleker after the introduction, which will be followed shortly by Carmen from EUSPA. And after that, we will hear from Thomas about the Netherlands Space Agency. He will introduce the role of the agency in satellite navigation and explains its activities within both the Dutch and European space ecosystem. Originally, we had a presentation from the ministry plans. However, they were not available today, but will be next week. So that will be shifted to next week's agenda. Then after the presentation from Thomas, we will have the pleasure of welcoming our colleagues from EUSPA's GNSS Service Center, Teresa Martinez and Miguel Rodriguez. They will provide an introduction to Galileo and its core services. As I mentioned, today's webinar is organized in close collaboration with the European Union Agency for the Space Program, EUSPA, and we are very pleased to have them with us today. After my short introduction on GIN, which will follow, Carmen will say a few words of welcome and introduce the perspective of EUSPA and the GNSS Service Center in today's webinar. And after that, Thomas will introduce himself at the beginning of his presentation. So that's on the agenda. Then, since you're all here, I would like to explain a bit more about our association. I will keep it short before we dive into today's topic. At GIN, we bring together professionals from across the entire geoinformation domain. Our community includes people from government, academia, industry, and consultancy, all working with geospatial information in different ways. What makes our association unique are three things. We have a broad focus on geoinformation, covering the whole life cycle. We connect disciplines and sectors because of many of today's challenges require collaboration across the entire geospatial ecosystem. Second, we have an independent position. As an association, we act as a neutral platform where knowledge can be shared openly and where organizations and professionals can connect and learn from each other. And third, we have quite some deeply engaged members. Luckily, our strength lies in our active community, people who are curious, willing to share knowledge and eager to explore. Well, we believe innovation starts with knowledge sharing and collaboration, and that's what this webinar today is about as well. The vision of our association, we believe that geo-information is essential for creating a safe, sustainable, and livable environment. Whether we are addressing challenges related to climate adaptation, infrastructure, mobility, energy transition, or spatial planning, geo-information plays a crucial role. And behind all of that are the geo-professionals who collect, analyze, and apply this information. And there, your expertise is more important than ever. As an independent association, our role is to bring these professionals together, promote the use of geo-information, and support the continuous development of knowledge and expertise within our community. And by doing so, we hope to contribute to the effective use of geo-information in tackling the major spatial challenges we are facing in the Netherlands and beyond. Well, and that's why topics such as satellite navigation and high accuracy positioning matter. They are becoming more increasingly important building blocks for the geo-information solutions. A big part of our mission is bringing people together. Throughout the year, we organize conferences, lectures, symposia, etc., to share knowledge and connect the community. And then we have a magazine, another important way of sharing knowledge within the community. It features articles and reports on developments in the Dutch geo-information sector and is available both in print and online. Behind all of these activities is a team, a 7-member board, which are all volunteers, and myself as an association director supporting their work. Together, we work to keep GIN connected, active and relevant, and we have a lot of active volunteers who organize all these kind of different events and initiatives. So finally, about GIN, a call to join for a stronger profession. If you're not yet a member of GIN, I invite you to visit our website and consider becoming a member. You become part of an active network of geo-professionals, and you help support initiatives like today's webinar, which are organized by and for our members. Then I'd like to hand over to Carmen Aguilera from USPA. She will say a few words of welcome and introduce the perspective of USPA and the GNSS Service Center in today's webinar. Carmen, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar. As Caroline introduced me, my name is Carmen Aguilera. I'm working for the EU Agency for the Space Program. We are very happy to see such a large audience and interest in this webinar. And I will not take much time because my objective today is only to introduce you to the agency, to the activities that we do in space, and also to give you, hopefully, to raise your appetite on doing more on Galileo, and getting your appetite in introducing Galileo high accuracy into your activities and your operations. Just a few words about the activities of the agency. EUSPA is a service and user-oriented agency. That means that we are delivering and supporting the implementation of the space programs and looking at the final users. So in case you see during these webinars something that you don't like, you would like it to improve, please let us know, because we are very interested in understanding your feedback and get information on how we can improve the services from space. What we do in the 3 blocks is exploitation, security, and support the use of the space programs. In particular, we are working on the Galileo and EGNOS programs dealing with the satellite navigation and positioning, space surveillance and tracking of SATCOM, IRIS2, and Copernicus. In case you are interested in knowing more about the other programs, let us know, and we will organize and we will prepare content for you. We are providing services for Galileo EGNOS SST front desk. We have developed what is called the GovSatcom Hub, and I'm preparing for future evolutions of the programs. You see a big focus on security, not only in the slide, but in the activities, because as you can imagine, the space assets and the space services are critical for the activities that we perform, the activities that you perform, and ensuring the security of the systems and the services is critical to make sure we will provide the right data and the right services to the users. And last but not least, one of our focus is to promote the use of the space services. All this infrastructure, satellites, ground stations do not make any sense if there is no business behind or no users that are taking benefit from them. And the activities that we are doing through these webinars and other support tools that also Teresa will explain are aiming at increasing the use and in the end the return of investment of these programs. We are a multi-site agency. I'm showing this map to present you, to introduce you to the different offices, and also just to take the opportunity of introduce you to a site that we have in the Netherlands. Our headquarters are located in Prague. Teresa and myself are located in the Galileo Service Center in Madrid, well, actually in Torrejón, very close to Madrid. But we have a center called the Galileo Reference Center that is based in Noordwijk in the Netherlands, who will be also willing to provide you support and more information on the services in case you are interested. And they will join the next webinar. So in case you want to talk directly to in the visit site in the country, then you can go to Noordwijk. What we do, we will introduce the Galileo Service Center today and the Galileo Reference Center in the next webinar. In the Galileo Service Center, which is a component of the Galileo program, what we do is to provide a single interface between the program and the UGNSS users. So the center is providing a number of services that of Galileo, and Teresa will explain mainly Galileo High Accuracy today, but we are also supporting the users to actually embed these services in their operations. These are just some of the examples of these activities that we perform to support users. Training is certainly an important activity. We like to call our training practical training, hands-on training, because beyond doing presentations, we would like to also support you in doing practical integration of Galileo in your operations. You can see in the slide one example of one training that we gave actually in the Galileo Reference Center in the Netherlands in April last year, when we explained or when we supported the drone operators to integrate the Galileo services in their drones. You can see one drone because they brought their drone. We worked with the cables, with the configuration to actually support the integration. And we are also providing hands-on support in the sense of helping users to configure receivers, install receiver in their applications. Here you can see some examples of the testing campaign that we did very recently in Germany to support inland waterways and navigation. So in case you are interested to test the performance of Galileo High Accuracy in your activities, let us know and we can set up a dedicated exercise with you. And I'm sure Teresa will explain better in her presentation, and Miguel and her are the right contact point in case you want to go further in these activities. And that will not take much of your time, because actually the interesting part of the webinar is starting now. I would like to thank you again for your interest, and I look forward to continue the webinar with you.
Thank you, Carmen. I will now give the floor to Thomas, and I will share his slides. Thomas.
Yeah, thank you. And also thank you to Carmen saying that the interesting part of this afternoon starting only today, right now. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm very glad to give a contribution to this webinar. My name is Thomas Bleker, Netherlands Space Agency. It's a rather new name because since only 2 or 3 weeks we're called an agency. Before that was the Netherlands Space Office. But the national government, the government decided last Friday, 2 weeks ago, officially we're an agency. So I'm proud to be part of the Netherlands Space Agency. I'm heading a small team, a navigation team at the agency, about 2 or 3 people out of, let's say, 35, 40 people. So obvious for Earth observation, launches, and communication. We have a small team for navigation. And in this team, we work together closely with the ministry responsible for navigation. It's the Ministry of Transport. And I just heard what Carlin also said, they don't join us today. They will join us next week, so they can give their perspective on navigation policy in the Netherlands next week. So please, next slide. As an agency, we have a mission, of course, and we're part of the national government. We are civil servant, and we have 2 main tasks. One is to make a policy on space issues and execute them as well. So we think what the best is for the Netherlands and for Europe. We send our ideas to the ministries, Ministry of Transport and Economic Affairs and Science. They give their view on that policy, and if they say yes, it's a good idea, then we execute them as well. So that's every year, and every 3 years, that's the ESA schedule. We make a 3-year program, and our goals, and they're sent to Parliament. So every 3 years, it's a long letter to Parliament, 50, 60 pages. If you read Dutch or whatever, you can check Netherlands Parliament space policy, and you will see every 3 years a new paper. The main focus is societal. The main task is to do such things that society can benefit from space as much as possible. Of course, it can be Earth observation or whatever industry. Our focus is on navigation, and in this navigation, we will look for Galileo in principle, GPS, of course, as well, but main focus is Galileo and its services, and EGNOS as well. Our task as an agency, we have a central role in bringing people together from the knowledge institutes or industry, all the ministries dealing with issues on navigation or time. And sometimes we also give a helping hand in the industry, looking for tenders or grants from EUSPA or from ESA with the European Commission. So we bring people together and see also for the industry where they can find their way in this. It's a difficult way to find your way in all these grants, all these tenders in Europe. And also the economic driver, part of our mission is not only for society, but also specific for the industry to make use of the money the ministry provided us, and we give money for subsidies. I can't use the word subsidy. We provide funding for innovation. Next slide, please. Yeah, I already mentioned the ecosystem in Europe. That's pretty much divided in the navigation sector. ESA, of course, 23 member states, headquartered in Paris and the main research center in Noordwijk. We represent the Netherlands in ESA. Personally, I'm the delegate in the ESA navigation, the program board navigation. So a few times a year, we have a meeting in Paris. And sometimes it's a bit difficult because you can see the next bullet, it's an EU program. EU 27 member states without UK, and ESA is with UK in Norway and Switzerland. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to go forward. But so far so good. All member states, they work closely together, even when there's a Brexit or not Brexit. In ESA, everything goes pretty well, and that's very pleasant. In the Netherlands is quite a lot of expertise in navigation in general, companies or research institutes, and we bring these people together sometimes. As this agency, we have once a year a big happening, and also in the field of navigation, we try to bring people together. And one of the main goals, what we would like to do together with our European partners, is strategic autonomy. Well, if you say it a bit unpolitely and diplomatic, is less GPS and more Galileo, and that's our main task of our agency in cooperation with the Service Center and EUSPA, of course. Next slide, please. That's a halfway slide. That's one, yeah. Well, next one is fine. You already mentioned that for the HAS, High Access Service, and OZNMA and a bit PRS will be moved to next week for the more in-depth webinar. We hope a bit more and more that the industry and research institutes are working more together in this difficult forest of tenders and opportunities. And therefore, I'm very pleased to see everyone together today. There are so many services Galileo provides, and so many tenders and things going on within ESA and EUSPA that from our side as an agency, it's difficult to provide everyone with the right information. Just for whatever reason you have the idea that you missed something, or you have a question about developments or anything else, please let us know. Saying this is already also an incentive for me personally to maybe we can bring people together next year, the same ideas today in person over here at the agency, and come back to your questions, and we have many things to share with you. The fourth bullet, the G2G, is a difficult one because right now there's Galileo constellation, and right now we are working together with European partners in the EU for a second generation, and that will be again a really nice constellation with much more services than the first generation. So it's another reason to come together soon in the coming period. Next slide, please. Innovation. Netherlands is quite a country with lots of innovation, also in GNSS. We like to bring people together in the from the ministries, not always aware of the opportunities Galileo gave. For example, the timing issue, the Ministry of Finance or the customs or the telecom agencies, they do not really always realize the dependency on GPS, the timestamp of GPS, and therefore we also contact with them. I already mentioned Earth observation, and for us, Earth observation also is focusing on agriculture. And if you name agriculture, then it's also good to mention the Galileo and EGNOS. And I'm very pleased the Ministry of Agriculture is part of our funding fathers to promote the use of EGNOS and Galileo, including the Earth observation data. Yeah, next slide, please. I already mentioned ESA, and within ESA, we are attending the program board for navigation, and in this program board navigation, there is a facility, it's called NAVISP, promoting innovation, and the Netherlands is providing a couple of million euro for innovation within this NAVISP program. If you're interested, please have a look at the ESA NAVISP website or give a call to us. You can see the goals we have and the tenders. It's an ongoing process for the whole year. It's not unlimited. There's a couple of million, 2-3 million we put in this facility. So if you're interested, please let us know. Well, next to the NAVISP, we have also inside the agency a funding opportunity for small business innovation research programs. If you have an idea, or together with the ministry or a public body like the province or the water board, whatever, in the field of navigation, please let me know, and we can have a look if there are opportunities to go forward. Horizon Europe is a big problem. Probably you know that, and I noticed that for the navigation part, it's sometimes a bit difficult to find your way within your Horizon Europe, because sometimes it's underneath. You have to look carefully. Fundamental elements gives opportunity for research programs. Please have a look over there. And what I said, it might be a bit difficult to find your way. Really, if you have a question, you can always contact ÖSPA directly, of course. Otherwise, you can ask us. Yeah, please, next slide. So this is the overview from our side. We're working with 2-3 people. My colleagues are not attending today. They will attend tomorrow. Today is Maarten is attending, and next week my other colleague Marcus will also attend. So that's my contribution for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Before we go to the presentation by Teresa and Miguel, are there any questions for Thomas or maybe Carmen? We would like it to be a bit interactive. So if there are questions, please let us know. Not so far, maybe. Okay, well, we'll have time afterwards as well, so keep it in mind. Then Teresa and Miguel, you're up.
Thank you, Carlene. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are very happy to be here with the members of the Geo community, but also others interested in learning more about the Eurospace program and Galileo. My name is Teresa Martinez from the GNSS Service Center, part of EUSPA, European Agency for the Space Program. And together with my colleague Miguel, we will introduce this webinar, let's say number 1, because we will have another one next week. First, we would like to thank Carlene and Jean for organizing and moderating this event, for the cooperation, and well as the Netherlands Space Agency, Thomas, for the cooperation. We really appreciate your interest. We at the European GNSS Service Center and EUSPA support Galileo user, providing technical information, services and assistance. We will see during this webinar. In this introductory, let's say, webinar, we will focus on practical and general description rather than technical details, showing mainly how Galileo is already supporting a wide range of applications, in particular geo-information activities. So this is a great opportunity to strengthen collaboration between the user community, focusing geoinformation, but also any user interested in European space sector. So finally, thank you all the attendees for participation. We hope today's session brings new ideas and encourage you and raise the appetite, as Carmen said. And you join our second and more advanced webinar next week on the 30th of June, where we will take a closer look at high accuracy service, but also OSNMA, the open service of authentication and the benefits for the sector. So let's start the webinar. I will share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen? I guess, yes, okay. So, okay. Here you can see the agenda for our slot. We have structured the agenda like this. We will start with an overview of the GNSS Service Center and EUSPA. And also, we would like to take the opportunity to explain a bit the components of the space program and how Galileo fits into EUSPA space program. In case you are interested, contact us or Carmen or EUSPA for further details. We will introduce, because this is the main objective of this webinar, in Galileo and its key capabilities, and also we will introduce all the services before focusing on the Galileo High Accuracy Service, or HAS, HAS, and we will explain how it works and the benefits it provides. The second part of the webinar will be explained by my colleague Miguel. We will explore practical application of high accuracy service with a particular focus on geoinformation and geomatics. We will also present useful reports, resource information, and opportunities available to users in GSC webpage and EUSPA webpage. And finally, we will conclude with a summary of the key messages and takeaways from today's session before opening the floor for questions. So this is the agenda. And before starting, I would like to make the webinar a bit interactive, so you can scan this QR code. I will also share my screen directly. Much better. One moment. Okay, we can see the answers on the screen. So the first question is, what is your role or position? We have different answers. Most of you are geospatial technique or technical expert, but let us know. For us, it's important to know your role, your needs. Okay. Okay, you can continue answering this question. We will go to the next. I see that most of you are technical expert and geospatial or geographic information system specialist expert. Okay, thank you. The second question is, which GNSS global navigation satellite system are you currently using? So maybe you are not GNSS user, or you are using GPS, Galileo, both, and other techniques. So this is important to know. So far, you are not GNSS user, so maybe you can learn a bit about this and you start using it, maybe. Okay, thank you. And we will go to the last one. We will have another 3 questions at the end of the webinar, basically. Okay. And the third question, introductory question, is how familiar are you with the Galileo satellite navigation system? Have you heard of Galileo? Maybe not familiar, maybe somewhat familiar, very familiar. Okay, most of you know about Galileo with different level of knowledge, I guess. Okay, you can continue answering the question. And I will go again to the presentation. Okay, thank you. So this part of the agenda is GSE and EUSPA and the SPERIS program. Well, Carmen already explained a bit our role, so I will explain very, very quickly. It's useful to look how EUSPA and GSE work together. EUSPA, let's say, they're responsible for the operational management, security, and adoption of the Eurospace program, while the GSC, as part of EUSPA, serves as the main point of contact for Galileo users. So in GSC, we are focused on Galileo, and we provide technical and operational support, and we assist the USPA in user engagement activities. Okay, so in practice, our mission is to connect Galileo's space services with real-world user needs and application. That's why it's really important for us to know what are the user needs and to get feedback from user. We work very closely with stakeholders to ensure they can effectively access, understand, and benefit from Galileo's capabilities. So this is one of our main objectives, to know what are the user needs, and please don't hesitate to ask any question. Here you can see very few words about the USPA. Is the operational European Union Agency for the Space Program and is user-oriented approach. So Carmen explained this very well, and I will take the opportunity to explain very briefly the space program. Okay, so we are under European Commission as the program manager, EUSPA is the exploitation manager, and we are in the GSC supporting EUSPA. We are part of EUSPA for the Galileo activities. So I would like to explain, because it's important to know the framework and where Galileo fits in the space program. Very briefly, I will explain one by one what is EGNOS. EGNOS augments GPS signals to the safety of live navigation. Is very important and relevant for aviation, but also very relevant for another market segment, maritime, and also Geo-information. EGNOS is particularly important because it provides integrity of GNSS signals, making them very suitable for safety critical and precision demanding application. Is commonly used in aviation, in also agriculture, but EGNOS also delivers significant benefits for geoinformation and geomatic sensor. Here Miguel will explain later some success story of Galileo, but also here you have access of a video about how EGNOS and Galileo can contribute to geomatics and in particular mapping application. Second, Galileo is the Europe's global satellite navigation constellation, delivering highly accurate positioning, but also timing services. This is the main objectives of the webinar, so we will explain in detail. You also have a video that we will not watch again, but as we will share the slides, you can have a visual information with this video. Also, I would like to mention Copernicus. Also, Thomas mentioned the importance of images and Earth observation. So Copernicus, the Earth observation program, it provides Sentinel images, open data for different sectors. Is the European Union's Earth observation program and provide a comprehensive and continuous view of our planet. The program delivers information on land, marine and atmospheric condition. It provides through Sentinel satellite mission and complementary data source like called a contribution mission that are dedicated set of imagery that complement the Sentinel constellation. The most important thing is open and freely accessible information that enable users to monitor different kind of activities. For example, for the geoinformation sector, Copernicus is one of the most important sources of geospatial data. Its products support a wide range of applications, including land use, land cover mapping, urban planning. It allows to generate up-to-date maps, improve GIS analysis, develop monitoring services. So while EGNOS and Galileo provide precise information about the position, Copernicus and Earth observation give valuable information about the surroundings. So Copernicus and navigation system can work in synergies in many activities. Here you can see the different services: climate change, marine monitoring, atmosphere, land monitoring, security and emergency. And as I mentioned, Copernicus provides not only imagery through Sentinel constellation and contribution mission, it also provides specific products through these services. Also, it provides in situ measurement. So this information could be introduced in an application or in a software and combined with information about geolocation, and is very useful for many activities. Another component of the SET program is the Secure SATCOM. GovSatcom and IRIS-2 provide the secure and resilient connectivities needed to transmit and share geospatial data anytime and anywhere. So Secure SATCOM is the European Union's effort to provide trusted and resilient satellite communication for public authorities and essential services, particularly in scenarios where communication networks may be unavailable or unreliable. So I will invite you, if you are curious about this program, to explore more about this. I will continue with the next component, that is the space situational awareness. Very quickly, is the Eurospace program component dedicated to monitoring and understanding the space environment in order to protect the satellite services on which the society depends. It provides information about potential hazards, including collision with debris, satellite fragmentation, uncontrolled re-entries, space weather events. Is built around these three main pillars. You can see here the SST, space surveillance and tracking, which monitors objects orbiting the Earth. SWE, the space weather, which assesses the impact of solar activities, and near Earth objects, NEO, which tracks natural objects that could have a risk on the Earth. So this is just for your knowledge. In case you need more information, contact us, contact EGUSPA for more information. Okay, so we will start, well, before finishing this part, let's say that the 5 components that I have explained very quickly strengthen the European Union's strategic autonomy. They can work in synergies. We are happy to give support to the user to really use these programs in synergies or alone or any kind of support you need. Okay, so let's start with the introduction to Galileo service. Galileo is worldwide, is the European space navigation system. It is an advanced space-based infrastructure that delivers precise and reliable positioning, navigation, and timing services worldwide. A feature of Galileo is that it is fully under civilian governance, is developed by the European Union to guarantee a strategic autonomy and to provide a trusted service tailored to the needs of users across different sectors and regions globally. When launched in 2016, is an initiative of the European Commission and the European Space Agency. And yes, Space Opal is the Galileo service operator, and we have different services that we will explain now. And the constellation, here you can see the constellation. We have 32 satellites with different here 26 are available, 6 are not available. Galileo is compatible and has interoperability with other GNSS constellation like GPS, GLONASS, and Beidou. Is a free open service, and the precision we will see later, and it works in different bands, enable single and dual frequency positioning depending on the system. So we would like to explain a bit how Galileo fits in constellation. Here you can see the 4 constellation. When we discuss about Galileo, it is useful to place it within the wider context of GNSS and PNT, because PNT means position navigation, but also timing. So it provides timing performance. So this is the GNSS is the general term used for satellite constellation that provide position and services, and Galileo is one of the key systems. So it represents one of the main constellation, and I would like to compare the 4 global constellation. Here, technical description about orbital height, the reference frame, orbital time reference system, and the owner. So just for your information. Typically, when we talk about GNSS, most of the audience know GPS, but the correct term is GNSS. That is not GPS, but that's why it's really important, especially for European sector, to know what is with this Galileo. This available worldwide, even though it is an European initiative.
Teresa,
Yes.
there's a question in the chat from Bael. The question is, what about the unavailable Galileo satellites? Are they standing by to replace others when necessary?
Yes, we are working in just that's why some of them are available, some of them are not available. So there are replacement of in Galileo system. Also, we are working on the second generation of Galileo. And the idea is to have always enough satellites in view, to compute a solution, we need at least 4 satellites, but we also take the advantages, not only the Galileo, but also for another constellation. But yes, we are considering not only the available constellation or the nominal constellation, let's say like satellites, we have some satellites that will be working in case some of them are not working.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. So here you can see just a summary of the global constellation, Galileo, GPS, GLONASS, and Beidou, and where Galileo fits in GNSS. So it's the first global satellite navigation system designed for civilian purpose and provide Europe with independence from the other GNSS. But, as I said, interoperable with all of them. Okay, some benefits of Galileo. Galileo offers several advantages for wide range of application. It provides free and global coverage, enable users to access services anywhere in the world. It also transmits in multi-frequency signals, which improve resistance to multipath effects, especially in challenging environments, urban scenarios such as cities or mountains areas. These capabilities translate into higher positioning accuracy compared to other systems. And integrating Galileo into receiver system enhances redundancy and overall reliability, helping ensure consistent performance even under demanding operational conditions. So here you can see some of the advantages of Galileo. We will give more information about some specific use cases in the second part of the webinar. Here, we want to explain the different services of Galileo. So let's go one by one. The first one is the open service. The standard, is free for all users and deliver improved accuracy and robust European control timing for mass market application. Open service provides free global positioning, navigation and timing, remember PNT information. Its Galileo satellite transmits navigation signal in space across multiple frequency bands, with the open service primarily broadcast on the E1 and E5 bands. So this signal ensures consistent global performance in ranging, positioning, and timing. Here you can see you have the link to the Galileo Open Service definition document in case you want more information, in case you want to explore more about this service. For mapping application, when it's used with a dual frequency receiver, can typically achieve accuracy in the order of the meter. So it's in many cases very suitable for mapping and this application where this level of precision is enough. We will see later the part of application. Another service that will be explained in detail in the next webinar next week is the OSNMA, the Open Service Navigation Message Authentication. OSNMA is a free service that complements the Galileo Open Service by enabling receivers to verify the authenticity of navigation messages. So OSNMA provides assurance that the received Galileo data originates from the system itself and has not been altered. What does it mean? That it helps to mitigate the spoofing risks in positioning application. We will give more details in the next webinar, but let's say to advance some information, it's very important or useful for application where certification is important because it ensures that the navigation message is coming originally from Galileo. Another service of Galileo is the Public Regulated Service. PRS is an encrypted navigation service designed for authorized governmental and critical users. So this is a specific set of stakeholder users, governmental mainly, who require high continuity and robust performance. So it provides control access to ensure protection against interference and malicious attacks, and it supports mission critical operation. So compared to Open GNSS service, PRS, let's say, offer enhanced resilience and robustness. So it maintains service continuity for authorized user even when other navigation signals are degraded or unavailable. EU's Power CPRS development and ensure its secure, regulated and user-driven evolution in line with applicable European regulation. But as I mentioned, this is for authorized user, this service. I would like to explain a bit. Search and rescue service is really interesting. It supports global emergency response by detecting and locating a distress signal from coastpath SARTA beacons and relying them to rescue coordination centers. So this service, let's say, once a distress signal is detected by Galileo satellites equipped with SAR payloads, it is transmitted to ground station, process and forward to mission control center, enable rapid localization and response. So this is very relevant for emergency market segment. And I would like to highlight that a key differentiator of Galileo search and rescue is the return link service. What is this? The return link service provides direct confirmation to the distress beacon that the alert has been received and the assistance is underway. So imagine you are in an emergency situation. This is something that considerably reduce your stress because you know that help is coming, the assistance is coming. So this these capabilities makes Galileo the GNSS system offering his two-way communication capability. So thanks to its inclusion in the MEOSAR constellation, Galileo enables near real-time global detection of distress signals. The service supports millions of beacons worldwide. Since its operational deployment, Galileo SAR has contributed to tens of thousands of rescue operations globally. So maybe not direct relevant for your information, but at some point emergency services are also related to your information activities when you have to be located in the middle of an emergency. This is a very, very relevant and important service that we would like to mention. Also, you have here documentation and a video that you can watch later if you are interested. Okay. So now we will go. Sorry, I have the hash. Okay, the hash. As we will go into detail, the high accuracy service, I think is not here. Okay, but yes. After SAR, we have the high accuracy service that we will explain. We will introduce a bit in this webinar some generic description, but we will go into also, we will explain, my colleague Miguel explained the main application in Geo-information, and we will give more detail in the next webinar as well. But also after explaining these services, we will start explaining HAS. So just to mention very quickly some services that are, sorry, okay, sorry, HAS is here. Sorry, HAS is here is the free of charge globally available high accuracy positioning services. I will explain in detail. It's one of the 5 operational services of Galileo. You have, sorry, it's not under development, is operational, and we will explain now after the description of the services. Just to finish with the services, we would like to explain the 3 services under development, under preparation. The early warning service system is designed to support a rapid dissemination of emergency and crisis-related alerts through the Galileo infrastructure. It aims to provide timely and reliable information to authorized institutions, improving coordination and response during critical events and natural disaster. So, in practical, in the field of geomatics, this service can support situational awareness and spatial decision making by enabling a faster integration of emergency information into GIS-based monitoring and response systems. So in case, for example, you have a dam, you have a flood or something, you will receive this alert in your telephone, in your mobile. Okay, another service that is under development is the Signal Authentication Service, SAS. This is under development. This SAS service enhances trust in Galileo navigation data by enabling users to verify that the received signals are genuine and have not been spoofed or altered. In geomatics, this service is relevant for ensuring the reliability of positioning data using surveillance, mapping, and geospatial data acquisition, where data integrity is essential for accurate spatial analysis. So, compared with OSNMA, HAS authenticates the ranking code, while OSNMA authenticates the navigation message. So SAS will be and complement OSNMA service being more stronger and demonstrate more capability. And it is under development, this service. And last but not least, we have under development, not operational yet, the timing service that provides highly accurate time reference that supports synchronization across multiple critical infrastructure. It's very important for systems such as telecommunication, energy networks, finance, where precise timing is required for a stable operation. In geomatics, accurate timing improves the consistency in GNSS data collection. So it's also really important because GNSS, as Galileo, not only provide positioning, but also timing. So depending on the application, this is also relevant. So this is the services of, I would like to go again, just not to confuse, to have the big picture of the services, which of them are operational, open service, OSNMA, the authentication service that authenticates navigation message, PRS for a governmental service with as an encryption service, search and rescue service, and high accuracy service that will be explained now. And under development, we have these three one. More or less, I hope that it is clear.
There's a question in the chats. Does the PRS service automatically include HAS and OSNMA?
Not really. It's a different, completely different service with another methodology, and is designed for governmental and authorized service. Indeed, we particular are not in charge of this service of Galileo because, let's say, it provides more robustness and it protects, so it's for authorized users and governmental service. So let's say, because sometimes it's confused, the OSNMA, Signal Authentication Service, PRS, they are different, but it's true that somehow they fight against interference or spoofing somehow. We will give more information about OSNMA, but PRS is for authorized users, not easily accessible as the other. Okay, so in case you want more information, please, we can give you more information, but this, let's say, a different service compared with those enemy, even though they are trying to fight against jamming, spoofing, and this kind of interference. But this, let's say, PRS is particular compared with other services. It has an encrypted techniques for the signal, and the technology is different.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so once I hope the services are more or less clear. Here you have the roadmap of Galileo. Galileo, you can see, is continuous in continuous development, which is why user feedback is so essential for us. You can see here some recent milestone. The high accuracy services is operational from 2023. And OSNMA very recently, 2025. So the aim of this slide is Galileo is continuously developing new services, and it's not that have finished. We are not only bringing new services, but also we are improving the services that we already have on the table, let's say. Okay, so now that we have a generic idea of a space program, one of the space program is Galileo. We have different services in Galileo, and one of the services is Galileo High Accuracy. Okay, so why we have this service? Why high accuracy service? Well, this service was established following the European Union's 2018 decision to provide a free global correction service, delivering up to 20 centimeter level accuracy, aligning with broader GNSS trends toward a higher precision and accessible positioning. So there are many positioning systems, but high accuracy service, let's say, is unique, and we will see why. It is designed as part of a wider GNSS ecosystem, yet remains unique, is freely available, globally accessible, operating 24/7, and fully independent from commercial correction services. So this is why it's unique. Has addressed growing user demands for higher accuracy while coexisting with traditional commercial solutions. You can see here in this picture another solution, and where is why HAS is unique. So yes, it you see here that is global, free, and operate 24/7, while other systems, okay, they are global and free, but they don't operate 24/7. So that's why it's unique, but it's not the best solution, of course. We just want to explain what is HAS, how you can use HAS, and maybe you can use, depends on your application, of course in combination with other techniques. So we don't want to say that the HAS is the best solution because it depends on the context. So let's go to a bit technical slide. So let's say that while GNSS enables many applications across multiple industry, the standalone accuracy provided is often not enough for some professional or emerging application. So errors, the mistakes must be corrected to achieve high accuracy positioning. And therefore, multiple technologies such as PPP, precise point positioning, RTK, real-time cinematic, and more recently PPP RTK, have been developed over the years to achieve this. Here, you can see a table with some advantages and disadvantages. For example, RTK is usually constrained by its operational model, which requires bidirectional communication, so it limits the number of users and the area of the network. PPP has, on the contrary, no such limitation, but it requires long convert time, which typically do not align with user demands. For example, for fast-moving consumer goods market, the smartphone, IoT. So it depends on the application. And PPP-RTK, however, address this shortcoming and is therefore a promising technology for consumer device. But Galileo is based, is a PPP. It uses a PPP technique. It's based on the provision of open format, accurate satellite data. And actually, a significant amount of surveillance equipment manufacturers have already enabled HAS in their devices since the initial service declaration in 2023. Google provides details of some receivers that are HAS enabled. So here you have different techniques, and just to say that Galileo HAS is using a PPP algorithm in real time, and it has this characteristic. It's a PPP precise positioning point service, is free of charge, provides the correction through two means. One is signal in space and through internet. So two different the ways. Enables the symmetry level positioning accuracy, making suitable for high precision application, but not for all, of course. As illustrated here in the right part, you can see the Galileo versus HAS, the comparison with GPS. Has significantly reduced positioning error compared to a standard GNSS processing. So this bridges the gap between traditional open service and high-end correction services. In the advanced webinar next week, we will provide more information about test and performance. So this is just an introductory description of HAS. It doesn't require proximity to base station for correction, so depending your environmental or work scenario could be very suitable for it. And here you can see a table describing the different level. Here you have the service level 1 and the service level 2. Both the service level 1 both has the same accuracy, and also horizontal and vertical. While if you see the convergent time, it's reduced for 300 seconds to 100 seconds. So let's say this is an improvement that will have the service level 2. The service level 2 provides regional coverage over the European coverage area, includes all the service level 1 correction, complemented by atmospheric correction, at least the ionospheric, and potentially additional bias product to further improve position and performance. So here you can see the main characteristics and the difference for both levels. From geomatics and surveying perspective, the distinction is important because it directly affects the accuracy, the convergent behavior, and reliability in field operations such as topographic surveying. So the convergent time could be very relevant for some geomatic application, and that's why this is important, the improvement that we will have with the service level 2. So here in time, let's say we have the Galileo has roadmap. Let's say has is planned to follow a different phases and progressive rollout approach. The phase 0 is for testing and experimentation, was focused on validating the dissemination of high accuracy data and conducting initial performance tests. The phase 1, the initial service, marked the operational start of HAS with the service officially available since 2023. In this phase, the service level 1 is provided, as commented, delivering initial high accuracy correction, but still operating below full performance target that will be addressed in phase 2. So in phase 2, we will have the full service, we'll expand the system to deliver level 1 and level 2 correction, achieving full design performance, including target positioning accuracy at the decimeter level. Finally, the evolution is not here, but let's say we will have another evolution phase that will refer to future enhancement of HAS within the Galileo second generation program, incorporating user feedback and operational experience to further improve the performance. That's why really important for us, once again, I'm repeating a lot all the time, very important for us to get your feedback and to know your user needs in order to improve our service, in particular HAS service. And this is a summary of HAS. Yes, it is worth highlighting the key advantages of HAS for your information. It provides high accuracy correction worldwide at no cost, including satellite clock, orbit and signal bias information. It targets around 20 centimeter horizontal accuracy under nominal condition. You have more information in the documentation. We have different tests if you are interested. It does not require proximity to local base station for a sexing correction, and it's relevant for guidance and monitoring application. So HAS supports innovation, both in established geospatial market and in emerging use cases. And our idea is not to say again that HAS is the best technology, but take into account that it's for free and can complement another techniques in case you are interested. So depends on your application. HAS could be very useful. Just in the bottom and right part, I put a link to HAS enable receiver, but I don't want to give more information because this technical information about the receiver performance will be explained in more detail in the next webinar. next week. But yes, I consider relevant to at least to mention and to put the link to has enabled a receiver list that constantly we are updating in EUSPA and GSC. So that's all from, well, not all, because we haven't finished yet. I will give the floor to my colleague Miguel. Well, Carly, maybe we can take a 5 minutes break if you want. I don't know what do you prefer. Or we can continue, but maybe we can have a short, very short break.
Yes, let's have a short break of around 3 minutes, then we can get some water and
Okay.
continue in 3 minutes.
Thank you.
So let's continue.
Okay. I take it from here.
Yes.
Thank you, Caroline. I think you are seeing my screen, the presentation, or?
Yes.
Or just me? Okay.
And
So
you can switch to presentation mode.
yes.
Perfect.
Okay. So if you are ready, I start. Now we move to the application section. In particular, what Galileo has means in practice for surveying, cadastre, and GIS and mapping applications. We will go through the main market segments, specific use cases, some of the projects EUSPA has funded and in related sectors, and the resources and opportunities available by EUSPA and the GSC. So this slide lists the professional sectors already using or integrating Galileo has. Starting at the top, surveying and GIS cover cadastral mapping in rural areas, for example, hydrographic survey, offshore exploration, and GIS data collection. HAS removes the dependency on a local reference station, as Teresa said before, for applications where a submeter accuracy is sufficient. Then agriculture follows with precision guidance, for example, also variable rate applications and farm machinery positioning. Then we have aviation and drones, including drone-based terrain mapping, for example, which is increasingly used as a surveying tool. And then further down the table, we have consumer solutions, maritime and inland waterways, for example, also rail, road, and automotive and space applications, showing how broadly the service applies across all the sectors involved. On maritime and inland waterways specifically, I recently had a meeting with the Rijkswaterstaat, RWS, which is the Dutch water authority. I assume you know them. They are looking at Galileo HAS as an alternative method for water level measurement, as well as for autonomous vessel navigation and offshore wave height monitoring. And this is a good example of how HAS application in this sector go beyond traditional navigation. I say this because I am colleague with Teresa, but I am focused on maritime and inland waterway applications. So please let me to introduce this idea because of, well, it's also a Dutch authority, organization that from your country. So I think it would be useful to know this for you. What connects all this application is the same, that HAS delivers free, global available decimeter level PPP corrections, as Teresa explained. These corrections comes by the Galileo E6 signal, the signal in space and over the internet, and it needs no subscription and no local infrastructure for its use. So this graphic map almost the same sectors under applications, from precision agriculture to autonomous vehicles, all using the same free correction signals, of course, for surveying, which is the focus here. And focusing Geo-information, GIS and mapping at decimeter level covers forest inventories, land use database and infrastructure asset management. Cadastral mapping benefits from submeter accuracy for property boundaries and land parcel definition without needing a local base or commercial correction subscription. Also, urban planning and digital twins is an application. Also, drone-based terrain mapping and environmental monitoring all follows a similar pattern to use this technology. On the right, the target user list covers land surveyors, for example, cadastral professionals, GIS analysts, cartographers, civil engineers, environmental scientists, and geospatial software developers, for example. As Teresa said, this service has been operational since 2023. If you remind the service level 1, we are waiting still for the service level 2, which provides also atmospheric corrections, etc. And is delivering committed performance levels since this year, since 2023. Here and in the next slide, you can see a selection of HAS or Galileo HAS success stories selected from the EUSPA project portfolio. They show that corrections provided by HAS, both via signal in space or via internet distribution, perform at committed service level in real fit conditions, and that the service is already being used in professional Geo-information workflows and, of course, in other sectors that requires this kind of approach. Then we can see in this slide and in the next some of the EUSPA funded initiatives. There are some projects to develop and validate HAS and other services as OSNMA, for example. Some of them are, for example, DREAM, that works on driving aids combining GNSS with artificial intelligence and machine learning. a newspaper that focus on a new space PPP receiver. HAUT is a Galileo reference has user algorithm. Phoenix works on PPP in open sky environments, and Unium develops an undifferentiated and uncombined positioning engine. And this next slide covers more projects, in particular ISLET and HASMAR, for example, that are both focused on combining HAS and OSNMA in a maritime receiver for its use in this environment. Moving now, we were gonna see some resources and engagement opportunities available through EUSPA and the GSE. So periodically, EUSPA publishes user needs and requirements reports covering all major market segments. There are publicly available at the EUSPA webpage and the GSE webpage also, and cover areas such as surveying, agriculture, transport, and other relevant information, information professionals, of course, maritime, for example. They are useful reference for understanding how EUSPA has characterized sector requirements and for aligning projects proposal with funded priorities. You can take a look when we share this presentation, of course. There are all the details. You can navigate through all the sectors and see if something match with your needs or requirements for its use, use of the Galileo free services. And then we want to show you several ways to engage with EUSPA. On the procurement side, EUSPA runs competitive tenders for technical services, for example, algorithm development and equipment work. You can check the EUSPA procurement portal for what is currently open. On grants, there are two mechanisms that are listed here. The fundamental element supports the development of the ENSS-enabled chipsets, receivers, and antennas. And Horizon Europe covers large-scale collaborative R&D projects where Galileo and also EGNOS are relevant. There are also collaboration and testing that cover public observation phases and dedicated testing campaigns, including data, processing support, and access to user equipment. On prices, there is the Cassini Challenge. That is an open competition for the EU space-based solution across GNSS, Earth observation, and satellite communication, with a prize pool of over 1 million euros. And for startups, EUSPA has a dedicated program providing technical and business support and investor engagement. As I said, there are more details on all of this initiative at the EUSPA website, and you can check them.
Miguel,
yeah.
There's a question in the chat from Thomas. He's asking, can you elaborate a bit more on the slide about secure SATCOM user technology reports?
Well, I don't have much expertise. Maybe, well, Teresa have any idea of this?
I can, yes, this is mainly for your information. It's a user technology report where you can see the last developments and trends in GNSS and secure SATCOM, specifically working in synergies. Right, so we invite you to read the document, and in case you need some support for any specific topic, let us know. But mainly the idea is how they can work in synergies and the developments and trends about GNSS and SATCOM. As we mentioned, it's important also to promote the use of the different space components in synergies. So this is the objectives of this document. And also Miguel also commented about the EUSPA market report. We really encourage you to read this document that was very recently published. very complete about trends, user markets, stakeholders, and is divided in different market segments, application. So it's true that we have limited time to tell everything about all the space components and Galileo and services. That's why we provide maybe many links, many information, just to raise the appetite, but not possible to explain in detail. But of course, in case you want more information, let us know. But this is the objectives of this report, how both components can work in synergies.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, Teresa.
And there's another question from Herman. Do the 20 centimeter accuracy apply to phase measurements with geodetic receivers, or is there also added value for code measurements and or low-cost receivers?
Can you repeat, or maybe Miguel, yes, you can address the...
Yes, I am reading it. I think this is a question for the next, will fit better in the next webinar session because it's a more technical session. What we have is, as Teresa said, we are listing all the receivers that works actually now with Galileo has. You can check this list. And related to code measurements and low-cost receivers, I think you mean the cheap receivers, but maybe you can check this list and then in the next webinar this answer will be solved for sure with the rest of our colleagues.
And yes, just to complement, Miguel is much more expert about receiver than me, so you can you can provide more information. That for sure. In the next webinar, the idea is to give a detailed list of receiver, but I guess, Miguel, that depending, you can complement me, please, depending on the the price. Of course, could be related to the performance and characteristic, but there are different types, and depending on this, you will have different prices. So, I think we can address this question in more detail in the next webinar. Yes, thank you.
This question also depends on the update of the firmware necessary to use this HAS technology, because maybe you have some compatibility for receivers at a software level, but at a hardware level, but then we need to assess with the manufacturers that the firmware is also updated to use these technologies. And there is Carmen, maybe she can say something more.
Yes, thank you.
Carmen.
In fact, I'm going to paste the link, to copy paste the link in the chat on the list of receivers implementing high accuracy that we already have available in the GSC website. The list is quite long, and you will see that address a different number of applications being surveyed. And obviously the most common one, and in this way you can look at the data sheet of each of the receiver and assess better what type of implementation they have. This is the list of Galileo high accuracy capable receivers that we have been able to compile. It is as much as updated as we can. We cannot guarantee that all the receivers available in the market are the list, but we are pretty sure that the list is quite complete. And there is a similar list on receivers implementing OSNMA in the same website, in case you are curious.
And even to complement this, even in return link service, there is another list of compatible receivers. I'm personally involved in this, in updating this list, so you can ask me any question and we will find a way to even reach the manufacturers or the updates, the firmware updates that they are introducing to their products, and to tell you more about to the point that we can get pricing, opportunities, etc. And also, I want to apologize because I was not intending to give this presentation today, so I am a little bit lost, but I hope this is understandable for everyone. So let me continue. Yeah, I think you are still seeing the presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. We are, beyond the funding mechanism that we saw, the GSC offer also a direct technical collaboration that none of these require a formal project as the previous opportunities. Participation, for example, in public observation phases, mean testing and experimenting with new services as has our OSMA. As they develop, we also promote dedicated testing campaigns, providing data collection support, for example, processing assistance and access to user equipment. Also, tools and support include user guidelines, dedicated training as this, and especially the one in next week, and providing information, for example, about the HAS reference algorithm that will be available soon. Also, for advice and technical questions, you can contact us, the GSC team, or also through the help desk. There show the email address, so you can reach us from there to any doubts that you might have, and we can see how is your problems or your questions and try to solve them.
Maybe just to complement Miguel on one detail, we just published the reference user algorithm. I just put also the link in the chat so that the participants can download it if interested.
Thank you very much, Carmen. As you know, we are every day.
This is very new.
Evolving, yeah. There is also a new market report from 2 weeks ago, right? If I'm right.
Yes.
So
we have a lot of new
also
material.
new material where you can navigate and check all this information. And not finally, but we are approaching to the end. So there are a few ways to stay connected. The GSC website, also, of course, the USPA website. At the GSC website, there are a help desk that you can ask them whatever you want about these services, the Galileo services. You can also subscribe to the GSC newsletter. That is a good way to follow updates on Galileo services. There are also contact details on the screen. It's a direct route for you to search to ask for some technical support or integration questions, etc. We also have a yearly satisfaction survey. This is not working now. It's normally the first month of the year. But this is a tool that the USPA uses to understand Galileo performance from a user's perspective. So you can check it, or if you check regularly our website, you can check when it's available, and it will be very useful for us if you can answer it, and we will hopefully have more information to improve these services. And then to wrap up, a summary of the main points of Galileo HAS for Geo-information. So the GSC provides guidance and support to Galileo users and collects real-world needs to help evolve the service. On accuracy and positioning, HAS does not replace RTK. This is what was told by Teresa before. Not replace RTK when centimeter level precision is required. But what provides is a free global available decimeter level PPP service that can significantly reduce dependence on local reference infrastructure and correction subscriptions. So more broadly, the shift towards multi-constellation and dual frequency receivers supported by EGNSS is improving the availability, accuracy, and resilience of surveying and infrastructure projects. So this slide also highlights specific dimension, cost, coverage, accuracy, delivery, and infrastructure availability, real-time and innovation, which reflects the full picture of what HAS brings to professional user, in your case, for Geo-information users as you were. So I think there is another questionnaire. This is managed by Teresa. I don't know if you want to take the control or if I can.
Yes, I can take the control. They can, in the meanwhile, they can scan this QR code, but
Great.
I'm going to share the screen just to see the results online. Much better. So. So the first question is, what is your level of satisfaction with the use of Galileo? No, not the webinar, but the use of Galileo. You also can be critical with the webinar, but this is about your experience with Galileo. Okay. We see that you are not currently use this solution. Most of you. Yeah, we would like to know why. Maybe because in the other question, I remember you know Galileo. Most of you are familiar with the use of Galileo, so maybe I don't know. You have we have the second question just to justify why you are not using Galileo. I will go to the second question. Write your needs and requirements and why you don't use Galileo. Example, the accuracy is not enough, you don't have enough level of knowledge. Please feel free to write down the needs that you could have regarding your needs and requirements, because for us is really important. This is why the answer of this question is free. It's better that you can write whatever you want. You can provide the detail that you consider, for example, accuracy for centimeter mapping or for cadastral, or so. Please feel free to be concrete or specific. Okay. This question is very relevant for us. Okay. Okay, we agree that in some cases you need more accuracy, or you use RTK, for example, but depending on the environment, if there is no need of a base station, and depending on the application, HAS is useful or not, or also could be used as a complement with another techniques. That's true. The objective is just to explain, and then once user know about Galileo, they can decide if this solution is useful or not, or if the solution could be improved. Okay, detection of objects, real time. You mean here that you need a solution in real time in detection of objects, real time? Okay, we will analyze all the answers, and maybe we will back to you through Jean, through Carlene, because this is really interesting for us. You can continue answering, but we will go to the last and third question, and is what kind of support will help you move forward? We, as GST and EUSPA, we have explained what we do, our activities, our how we can support through funding opportunities, through tests, through this kind of training and webinars. So let us know what kind of support, what can we do for you in the use of Galileo services. Okay, next week, don't forget it. Workshops, in case you need something specific when we finish the advanced webinar last week, please contact us or through Carlene, Jean, and we can organize maybe a dedicated webinar or workshop about specific topics. Demonstration, okay. We have some success stories and projects with information. We will invite you to explore this in case you need more information. And we have a lot of documentation about testing and so on. So yes, we invite you to explore. That's why it's useful to provide these links to many documents. Hands-on session, workshop. Okay, we will need to go into detail in order to know about what is the specific topic you need. We will explain OSNMA and HAS in the next webinar, but maybe you are interested in another topic. So, okay, you can continue answering this question. And the last slide I have, please, is basically one moment. Right. Okay, we have finished this introductory webinar. We invite you to join to the next advanced webinar. We will explore more about HAS, OSNMA, the performance, receiver, and practical implementation. Yeah, maybe Carmen, you can say few words to close the session, or
Thank you very much to all. I just would like to encourage the participants to share their views with us. So if there is anything you would like us to focus on in the next webinar, or some change in the format that you would like to implement, let us know. We will be more than happy to do so.
Maybe one remark from my side. A few weeks ago, we organized a workshop on Bonaire, the island in the Caribbean, together with EUSPA. And there was also a live SAR demonstration, which was very successful. It's a bit difficult to show to everyone, but if you're interested in SAR, please let me know, or of course, colleagues in Madrid.
Perfect. Thank you. I don't see any other questions in the chat, so I would like to thank all the speakers for their contributions to EUSPA, GSC, and NNSA. Thank you for making this possible, and we look forward to next week when we have a more of a deep dive into the technical aspects. We look forward to see many of you next week on Tuesday. Have a great afternoon and goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
to
See you
all.
soon.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.